Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel T-Spot. In this video, the Presley family, who just moved to town, are being followed by a ghost. Frank and Melanie have located a cheap but well-maintained fixer-upper. They have 2 boys in their family. Their eldest child, Fulton, is getting ready to begin college in the fall. Their youngest son, Kevin, follows a different beat. He prefers Terry Calf because Jimi Hendrix cited him as an inspiration, and he is intelligent and compassionate. Kevin has a hard time adjusting. That is, until he encounters Ernest, a spirit that haunts their attic. Kevin finds Ernest's attempt to frighten him so funny that he records it on his phone. Kevin makes friends with Ernest, despite the fact that he cannot speak. Ernest becomes a household name on the internet after Frank uploads the video to YouTube. Frank agrees to an interview with Judy Romano, who has her own show called Investigating Ghosts, in order to take advantage of the family's newfound wealth. Due to the poor quality of the food, Judy will no longer participate in rest home readings, but she would love to read Kris Jenner. Kevin responds that Ernest is not his father's lapdog when Frank asks him to get him ready for work. Kevin constantly increases Ernest's spooky demeanor whenever he does make an appearance on camera for the crew. He begins by slowly descending on a cameraman. Ernest then expresses more fear of Romano's crew with increased volume. Finally, he completely turns his head around and starts to crab. Similar to Reagan from The Exorcist, the spider walks in the direction of the star. Judy says they will have to correct the post's flaws because she initially believes it is a forgery. On the other hand, Ernest uses his mouth to grab her throat with an arm without skin. He then melted his own face, just like in Raiders of the Lost Ark. At first, Judy dives through a window to flee for her life. A ghost ending is explained for us. Is Ernest really Ernest? While conducting research, Kevin and Joy discover Ernest's real name is Randy. Kevin, his new friend Joy, and Ernest run away from Dr. Leslie Monroe, a federal agent who was once discredited but is now active. In the name of paranormal normal psychology, she is attempting to capture Ernest and study him. Because Ernest may not be his name, they are looking into what happened to him while he was on the run. They went to see Ernest Scheller, who owned the house. What exactly is Ernest then? McGovern, Randy their ghost, goes by the name of Ernest's spouse's brother. Ernest, according to him, was unable to cope after losing his wife during childbirth. He left his 4-year-old daughter, June, behind as a result, and they never saw him again. She was raised by them alone. Why was Randy killed by Ernest? They murdered Randy because they wanted a child from him. June, Monroe arrives with thermal weapons that control and capture Randy. Her boss tells Monroe that they can do anything for him, so it appears that Monroe is not looking out for Randy's best interests. Later on, Randy remembers what happened to him. He was murdered by Ernest so that he could steal his baby. He goes to Kevin's house after Monroe lets him go. Kevin is being accused of knowing more than he does by the real Ernest, who is standing there with a gun drawn. Because he and his wife were unable to have children of their own, Ernest committed the murder of Randy. Who helped Kevin escape Ernest? At the film's conclusion, Kevin was saved not only by Randy, but also by his father, Frank. Kevin is pursued to the attic by Ernest, who assaults the family. Randy shows up and stops him by getting Kevin's wrist as he is going to hit him with a crowbar blow. Ernest is backed up by him against a plate glass window. Randy punches Ernest and knocks him out. He smiles as he turns to face Kevin. Frank then walks into the space. He charges at Randy after a brief pause, his face filled with resentment. Frank notices Ernest standing up with the gun, ready to shoot Kevin, despite Kevin's belief that he is assaulting his friend. Ernest is pushed to his death by Frank through the window. Is June and Randy back together? Frank and Kevin help Randy and reunite with June at the end of the movie. She is conveyed to Randy, who is located on a beach. She comes up to him and, without saying a word, touches his face with her hand. This brings back fond memories of her and Randy as children. As he opens his eyes, they hug. Later, while Kevin and Randy are chatting on the beach, Randy vanishes into a magical orange dust. Kevin says goodbye. In the final scenes, the family is seen leaving the house. After turning off the lights and exiting the attic, Kevin glances back. A moment later, a single light turns orange, indicating that Randy can still see them. A ghost review is here. Unrealized Potential haunts Netflix original horror film We Have a Ghost. With a solid cast, an intriguing plot, and decent special effects, it was poised to entertain, if not impress. Sadly, We Have a Ghost is merely a middling film wrapped in an intriguing concept, despite these promising aspects. It's notable that We Have a Ghost was directed by Christopher Landon, who has a track record of horror-based comedy success with the help of talented writers. Based on the short story Ernest by Jeff Manaugh, its plot is at the very least solid. Its foundation is a dysfunctional father-son relationship that is highlighted by interpersonal flaws and ill-conceived goals. In this stressful situation, Anthony Mackie and jahi Winston deliver strong performances. Mackie captures the proud father figure that Frank is in his portrayal, and he and Winston, who plays his son Kevin, work well together. He has no idea why Kevin can't get over his doubts about his latest scheme to get rich quick because he is always looking for new opportunities to make his family's life better. In point of fact, Kevin's issues are much more extensive, but Frank's inability to listen forces him to retract his words when confronted. By transforming Kevin's perpetually gloomy demeanor into a relatable means of escape, Winston does an excellent job of portraying this aspect of Kevin. The icy glances and verbal jabs they exchange give the impression of a long-running dispute. Even though it is mostly based on negative emotions, there is chemistry here. I appreciate your viewing. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.